Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I'm Brendan Lee. In this video, I want to talk to you about a phenomenon, a dynamic that I see when people are trying to engage this work. Again, that keeps them stuck in a certain position. So this happened because I was watching a video, and it's like we get these comments every so often. Like I'll post a Ralston video, and then sometimes I do post these videos. I'm like, oh, people are going to not be happy about that one, but I'll post it anyway. And then, of course, people aren't happy about that. And there's a phenomenon I want to address with you. I want to expose it. I want to make it known so that you can avoid it and so that you can learn more powerfully. All right? And it's a common confusion in this work because when we're working on becoming conscious, what we call becoming conscious, all right? Grasping what's actually true about something. It moves in that direction, which is to say, it moves in the direction of what's true, which is to say, it does not move in the direction of you having what you like or dislike. It's not about your perspective. It's not about your truth, which is the same thing as your perspective. It's about what's true, whether you like it or not, whether you feel good about it or not. It's about what's true. It's not about you. It's about what's true. Whatever that is. And so here's the phenomenon. It's like, and it's a confusion that I don't really have a name for, but we could call it holding a position. Defending a position is even better. Which is to say, I heard a story about Bubba Freejohn, or I heard a dissertation of him talking to some of his students back in the olden days before his work went to shit, which if you look up Bubba Freejohn's website now, it has turned into a religion and it's gone to crap. But that's another story. Oh, God. But before, when it was actually a little more pure, he was actually working with people in a better way, to my estimation, more powerfully, more real, was... he said, yeah, people, you bring me your suffering, and then you end up defending your suffering. See, or Stuart Emery, he's like, yeah, plants are so much better to grow. You water them, they grow. You try to water a human, they put up an umbrella. You see, well, what's that about? This is pointing to something. Now, here's where I noticed it. In a recent YouTube video I posted with Ralston, there was this one guy, girl, whoever, they came in after, and we were talking about fear. And then what happens in the comment? The person commented, I'm paraphrasing, could get it wrong, you can go find a video on fear, whatever. They're saying, fear is a naturally occurring emotion in all creatures. It helps us stay safe and We need fear. It's a necessary component for staying alive and blah, 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 blah. And like that statement, sure, I get it. I get the perspective. I understand it. But what's so aggravating for me as a facilitator, as a teacher of this work, and like trying to get people to actually grasp something, is I can see that the comment, and again, I'm not talking ill of the commenter. I am talking ill of the ignorance of the commenter, the stuckness, they totally missed the point. And what's worse, they didn't realize they missed the point. Now, maybe they might get that and they missed the point because I actually commented back. I said, you missed the point. I'm pretty sure you missed what Peter was trying to say because Peter was talking about the nature of fear. We're trying to get across something about fear, and then their comment is indicative to me of a story. Oh, it's a necessary emotion. We need it, blah, blah, blah. If you don't have it, it could be potentially damaging, blah, 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 blah. Like all this stuff which has nothing to do with what's trying to be taught. And what's worse is they don't know it. That's the problem. They don't understand what they're doing. They're holding on to an idea that they have. And they're saying fear is necessary. We don't care if you think it's necessary. It's not about whether you think it's necessary. It's about what it is. Like if you have a vaccine for a drug, for a deadly virus, and you have a vaccine, you go, the vaccine is necessary. It's like, yeah, it cures the virus, but what's a vaccine? You don't know. Yeah, but we need it to cure the virus, and you should have vaccines, or if you have this other side, you shouldn't have vaccines, and everybody's arguing about whether it's necessary or not, and the quality of life you have when you have a vaccine versus not, and it has nothing to do with what the vaccine is. And they get stuck in this world of like, oh, this is what you should do with it, this is how you should live, this is where you should go, this is how you should be. It's like, shut the fuck up. You're missing the point. Because it's not about how you live. It's about what it is. Oh, my perspective is this about fear. It's a sacred animal emotion. You can't fuck with it. We're not trying to fuck with it. We're trying to get you to get what it is. I don't care if you live with fear or without it. You're going to live, you're going to be in fear, you're going to die. You're going to live, you're going to be free of fear, you're going to die. Now, maybe you think you need it. Is that true? Maybe there's more to this mind shit than you think. Maybe you don't need the fear. Maybe you can know what's dangerous or not without fearing it. Which is possible. See, but then what gets me going is, and I think maybe it requires my yelling, is the fact that, like, if I didn't yell or tell you in this way, would you get it? Would you understand? Or would you cling to your perspective? It's like the thing where if somebody's a victim, now this is something probably most of us can relate to, because if you pay even a little bit of attention, you can see somebody who is very locked in a point of view about being a victim. And if you try to tell a victim that they're a victim, what are they going to do? They're going to say, oh, you can't tell that to me. It hurts my feelings. You're making me wrong, like a victim would. And then they defend their victimhood, and then they go through life being the victim. They repeat that process for 70, 80 years. Like, I know somebody, an ex-girlfriend of mine, she has an uncle, and that motherfucker has been a victim since he was 20 years old, and he's going to die that way, and that's a tragedy. Why? Because he clings to his mind the way it is. He stays in that perspective, not realizing it's a perspective, thinking it's just a fixed aspect of reality, and then he dies. What a waste! That shit hurts my soul. It hurts. I get sad thinking about people that are stuck like that. It fucking hurts. I don't know why. It's just, ow. What the fuck? Because I think probably for me, I've seen the inside of some of that shit, and I've seen the other side of it. And this is what's hard to get across to people that are stuck in this kind of stuff, is that there's more to this work than what you fucking think. There's more to this work than what I think. See, because it's not about a perspective. There is this radical possibility, radical, I know, that you can actually make a breakthrough for yourself that transcends your own mind, that transcends even your own fucking perspective, and even more deeply, as if, your perception of reality. It transcends experience completely. How do I know it's possible? Because I've done it. And so then when I hear these comments, right, it's like what I see, why I care so much, it seems to me, is that I see this other world, this possibility, and when people are completely stuck, it breaks my heart, as Peter would say, like the Godfather, it breaks my heart, Fredo, you're fucking breaking my heart. Because I see this other world where you actually grasp something for yourself, and it blows my fucking mind, and it is freeing. It is like beyond freeing. Why is it freeing? I don't fucking know. It just seems to happen that way. And so when somebody is stuck, it's like, no, you're missing the point. It's like, I don't know, like from the martial arts world, right? There's like imagine there's a master fighter and they've transcended. They're like the top. And then everybody who doesn't have those skills is in this world where they're busily quibbling over who's better than who and my little thing that I know works better than your little thing. And they're like striving for status in their little world, whereas the master has transcended those worlds and can look as if down. He's not down, but like look at the people stuck in the world. They can see the world they're stuck in. They understand it because the master's been through it. They know. And they freed themselves from it, and they go, my God, I'm so sorry you're stuck in this world. And then they try to help them get out of it, and what do? No, my perspective is Bob. And it's like, okay, all right, fine. Then what's the master going to do? You just pat him on the head, say, bless you, have a nice life. I'm so sorry you're going to die with that. Because what can they do when somebody's so clinging to that? There's no force on this planet to get somebody out of that if they don't want to get out of it. All right, so now what's the service of this video? The service of this video is to draw your attention to this fact. It's that perspective thing where you confuse your perspective for the truth. You confuse what you think is right or wrong. Here are the perspectives to look out for, at least two of them. One, a moralistic perspective. This is concerning matters of right and wrong. And then people compare. They'll take any incoming data, filter it through what they think is right and wrong given the culture they live in, and then make a determination about the thing's validity based on their morals. That's one perspective. Wrong. See, that's a joke. That is one perspective. That is not trying to get what's true. That's trying to find out what's right and wrong. Okay, that's one perspective. Look out for that. Toss it out. It's not about what's true. That's about morals. Another perspective, a psychological one. Everything is fed through the psychological domain. What does it mean in terms of my psychology, my past trauma, my stories, my blah, 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 my subconscious mind? You feed everything, every spiritual practice, you feed through that filter. And again, what are you left with? You're left with nothing but a psychological world. What is the truth before psychology? That's a world that doesn't fit into psychology, does it? See, so maybe there's more. So open up. And what happens now, how these things function, when people are stuck in a moralistic perspective, when they're stuck and they don't realize it, it will look like that's the world, and that's it. There's nothing outside of it. And if you're really stuck, there will never be anything outside of it, and you're going to die that way, not knowing what's actually true because you're so busy quibbling and worrying about what's fucking right and wrong. And you'll miss it. You'll miss the point. Same if you're stuck in a psychological perspective. And then there's others, like if people are stuck in their intellect, everything is fed through this intellect and all this shit, and they don't realize that that's all they've got is intellect. And then they get stuck in that. And then they die. So now, and this shit can be really powerful because the world looks fucking real. And it's very hard when you're in this stuff to realize that you're in it. Very hard to do. Especially on your own. But if you have some openness and you stick to and you're brutally honest with yourself and you really question what's true, you might actually start to realize the reality that you can generate this kind of shit that you can get stuck in, and you might start to open a little crack in your experience which might give you a snowball's chance in hell of getting out of it. A snowball's, okay, that's very little. Slim to none. Why? Because your mind is incredibly fucking powerful and this shit looks real. I know. Because I've found myself in these things and I'm like, holy fuck, that is so convincing. All right? So, what do you do with this video? If you're the commenter on that video and you're offended by me, then you are going to be offended by me. You're welcome. You should be so lucky. If you can actually make use of this video, I believe it will empower your ability to question, it will empower you to become more conscious, and it will give you something solid to work with that will help move you much faster than if you didn't know about this shit in the first place. So if that's the case, and I'm talking to you, you're welcome. And it's free. So you're welcome. All right. Otherwise, if you're totally stuck, this thing will just piss you off. You'll think I'm wrong. That's fine. Or if you're really stuck, you're not even listening to this video, so fuck it. I hope you have a beautiful life. And I feel really sad that you're going to die stuck in that perspective. Because there's more to life than a perspective. You know, there's more to become conscious of. There really is. All right? So, I love you. I hope this video has served you. If you ever want to work with me, you can. Check my website. You know what the fuck to do. Come to a workshop. They're incredibly powerful. You know the drill. All right? If you want to reach out to me, go ahead. Much love. Take care. Good luck with your work. Do good work. Be honest.